Dude, I am slowly but surely losing my voice right now, so forgive me for the rest of this week. I've already mentioned it before, but it's progressively getting worse. With that being said, though, I want to take a look at this beautiful hand cannon first curse. Now, here's the thing about first curse, man, that has always stood out to me. It's that high impact archetype. This archetype has never been shown a lot of love. It's always been a very big favorite of mine, and I've always wanted to see first curse on the forefront of being one of the competitive weapons, but it just had too many things working against it. That time to kill being terrible. So let's review it today, guys. I specifically want to go over exactly how this weapon is handling after the most recent patch. So I've always had love for first curse, man, and you know it is an exotic as well. And in general, guys, I like exotics more than legendaries in this game. I like the lore behind them, so I always want to assume that they're the better weapon. Unfortunately, in Destiny, that's not always the case. Now, with the most recent buff to hand cannons, you know, they all have that great initial year 1 accuracy that they have now. But first curse is one of those that really gets punished for its damage falloff. So essentially, I wanted to take a first curse and just compare it against a palindrome that is rocking rangefinder on it as well as rifle barrel, and in doing so, this allows me to get an understanding of how bad the damage falloff is for this weapon. So outside of 27 meters for first curse is essentially when you start to see the damage starting to taper off for first curse, and then palindrome with rangefinder on it outside of 32 meters is when you start seeing the damage falloff. Now I know you're saying, well, that's only 5 meter difference. The issue is that first curse at 32 meters, if you wanted to compare damage numbers, first curse only hits 79 at 32 meters, whereas palindrome is still hitting its full 86 per crit. That's the major issue there. And so when you get into a situation when you're comparing you know pros and cons between these different hand cannons, you have to sit there and go, well, what is the purpose of me even using first curse over palindrome when palindrome has better time to kill, and it also is able to go a further range, it's further links than what I can go with my first curse. It's normally the way all archetype of weapons work, guys, is that some have pros and others don't. So if you take the pulse rifle weapons, for instance, you know, something like this Suros PDX 41, which has 48 range, or do you want to take Suros PDX 45, which has a base range of 22? And you can weigh those pros and cons depending on your playstyle. Where first curse sits right now is in a more awkward standpoint than any of the other hand cannons within its archetype. You know, at least with Linger and Song, you can roll a ranged perk on it. At least with Ill Will, you can also roll a ranged perk on it. The way first curse is right now, and I really like this gun. I love the stats, especially once you get the first curse exotic perk rolling. But based on how its initial standing is, I believe that first curse is very underpowered, and more so underpowered than ever before. Now, I'm sure I'll have some people in the comments below defending first curse and saying how great of a weapon it is. I'm not saying first curse is not a great weapon. I love this weapon. You know, this is one of my favorite hand cannons. But the issue is I don't like to see it punished so badly for its damage falloff. If there was some way to I guess, allow just this specific archetype to not be affected by damage falloff so severely, I would prefer that. Because here's the thing, you're already looking at a hand cannon that has a 1 second time to kill, which is worse than all the other hand cannons. In the least, you should at least be able to allow this weapon to compete at the mid to long range ranges. And I know people say that's outside of hand cannons, but here's the thing, you've already got IS Lunas and palindromes that are already able to compete pretty well in the 30 meter range. And what I'm trying to say is that the damage for an IS Luna or a palindrome at that range should not be identical to the same range or same damage from first curse. again, that's whenever you start having conflicting archetypes. Well, guys, that is my thoughts on First Curse. I know this is not really a normal weapon review, but I think First Curse has already been reviewed plenty enough by plenty of people. This is purely just an after patch review. I think the patch kind of screwed it in the pooch a little bit. I would like to see it actually be touched on, but I mean, let's be real. I wouldn't hold your breath.